3 days. That's how long it took for a deputy security chief to go from interrogation to execution in North Korea. His crime? Loyalty to the wrong person. As officials who worked under Kim Yo Jong, Kim Jong-un's own sister, began disappearing from their posts one by one, something unprecedented was happening inside the regime's inner circle. What could make even the leader's blood relative vulnerable in a system where family ties once meant everything? If these stories matter to you, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Your support helps us bring these untold stories to light. Together, we can be a voice for those who cannot speak. When I opened the envelope from the propaganda department, my hands froze. Inside were drafts for commemorative stamps, 8 designs for the Hwasong 17 launch. 5 featured a young girl, Kim Joo. I stared at those stamps, a chill running through me. Kim Yo Jong, the woman I'd protected for 6 years, wasn't on a single one. That's when it hit me. The center of power had completely shifted. I was Kim Yo Jong's security chief. 26 years with the Guard Command. 6 of those years protecting her. She was first deputy director of the party. Kim Jong-un's sister, one of North Korea's most powerful figures. The shift began when Kim Joo appeared. At first, I thought it would be once or twice, but she kept showing up military parades, party meetings, Mount Paektu events. Propaganda outlets called her beloved daughter, then respected daughter, then revered daughter. At a central committee meeting, the seating changed. Ri Sol-ju sat beside Kim Jong-un, Kim Joo next to her. Kim Yo Jong, 3 seats away. In North Korea, seating arrangements are power itself. Stranger still was the lighting. Spotlights focused on Ri Sol-ju and Kim Joo. Kim Yo Jong's area stayed dim. Camera frames centered on Kim Jong-un, Ri Sol-ju, and Kim Joo. Kim Yo Jong appeared at the edge or got cut off entirely. When I reviewed the footage, shock hit hard. 2 hours of meetings. Kim Yo Jong appeared for mere seconds. North Korean citizens wouldn't even know she attended. The Mount Paektu White Horse event was more blatant. Kim Jong-un, Ri Sol-ju, and Kim Joo rode the horses. Kim Yo Jong wasn't on the schedule at all. After filming, I overheard propaganda workers only air what Kim Joo says. A 10-year-old's words becoming propaganda material. Party officials changed their behavior too. People who used to bow deeply when passing Kim Yo Jong in hallways now barely nodded. In North Korea, the depth of a bow measures power like a thermometer. Visitors to her office dwindled. Deputy director-level officials who once lined up outside now. Entire days passed with no one. I stood outside her door, listening to that silence. The stamps were definitive. When I saw the Hwasong 17 commemorative drafts, 5 of 8 featured Kim Joo, watching the missile, walking hand in hand, riding the white horse. Even Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il never appeared on this many stamps while alive. Kim Yo Jong wasn't on a single one. 6 years as first deputy director, overseeing all South Korea operations. Kim Jong-un's own sister completely erased. That day, the realization struck me hard. This wasn't power redistribution. This was total replacement. Kim Yo Jong was no longer North Korea's number 2. An urgent directive arrived from the propaganda department. Citizens named Joo had to change their names. The document explained why. Joo combined Ri Sol-ju's Ju with love, a name carrying Kim Jong-un's affection. Too sacred for ordinary citizens to use, according to Paektu bloodline logic. A family in Hamgyong province filed their name change late. They vanished within a week. Kim Joo-a's exposure increased. She appeared whenever Kim Jong-un attended events. On the podium, Kim Jong-un at center, Ri Sol-ju and Kim Joo flanking him. Kim Yo Jong kept getting pushed back. At the Mount Paektu White Horse event, Kim Jong-un, Ri Sol-ju, and Kim Joo rode. Kim Yo Jong wasn't scheduled. After filming, I heard propaganda workers talking. Only air what Kim Joo said. A 10-year-old's words as propaganda. During a military parade, Kim Joo touched Kim Jong-un's cheek. The camera zoomed in tight. In North Korea, Kim Jong-un is a god touching his face was unthinkable. But it looked natural. Word among propaganda staff rehearsed in advance. Ri Sol-ju and the propaganda department coached Kim Ju-a, teaching her to touch father's cheek. Kim Yo Jong sat at the podium's far end. Cameras didn't point her way. In the car afterward, she stared out the window. Party officials stopped seeking out Kim Yo Jong. They moved toward Ri Sol-ju. When they encountered Ri Sol-ju in hallways, they bowed deeply. For Kim Yo Jong, just a nod. Office visitors disappeared. Phone calls grew rare. Personnel changes swept through the Central Committee. Officials handling South Korea operations under Kim Yo Jong got reassigned. Same with the propaganda department. Tasks that once required Kim Yo Jong's approval now went straight to Ri Sol-ju. Kim Yo Jong got pushed to the periphery. Ri Sol-ju and Kim Ju-a took center stage. One thought kept circling in my mind: in North Korea, we all know how it ends for those who lose power. When Kim Yo Jong's office phone rang, I waited outside the door. The call ended quickly. Officials who used to talk for an hour now exchanged just a few words before hanging up. When she opened the door, her eyes were red. I pretended not to notice. Personnel shifts hit the Central Committee. Officials handling South Korea operations under Kim Yo Jong got transferred one by one. Her authority was shrinking. The propaganda department followed the same pattern. Tasks that previously needed Kim Yo Jong's approval now went straight to Ri Sol-ju. As security chief, I witnessed every change. Power shifting day by day. Kim Yo Jong sliding toward the margins, while Ri Sol-ju and Kim Ju-a claimed the center. A question haunted me. What happens to Kim Yo Jong at this rate? In North Korea, the fate of those who lose power is predetermined. The shift came without warning. One morning at the security team briefing, Colonel Choi didn't show. He was my deputy. We'd protected Kim Yo Jong together for 6 years. His phone was off. Around lunch, word came. Colonel Choi had been summoned to state security. Party discipline violation. 3 days passed. He didn't return. On the 7th day, a party official spoke quietly. He was executed, charged with inciting Kim Yo Jong. My whole body went cold. Around that time, Kim Yo Jong's statement became problematic. A statement on South Korea regarding an ICBM launch different from before. Unnecessary emotion showing through. Logic scattered. Murmurs among party officials. Amateurish. Not the old Kim Yo Jong. The propaganda department requested revisions. Kim Yo Jong refused. Her authority was crumbling. Days later, a new colonel joined the security team. From Ri Sol-ju's detail. At his first briefing, he said, "Security personnel must watch their words." A warning not to speak about Kim Yo Jong. Kim Yo Jong said nothing about Colonel Choi's case. But one day in the car, she called me. "Myung-chol, is your family healthy?" A warning to be careful. The security team atmosphere changed completely. No one spoke unnecessarily. Everyone cautious. Rumors circulated among party officials. Kim Yo Jong's associates getting investigated one by one. A propaganda department deputy director removed from position. The South Korea operations director transferred to a rural post. Fear gripped me daily. Was protecting Kim Yo Jong the right thing or collapsing alongside her? Colonel Choi's death sent a clear signal. Proximity to Kim Yo Jong meant danger. One day, I watched Kim Yo Jong organizing documents in her office, boxing up old files. It looked like preparation to leave, no preparation to be erased. Each night I wondered, who's next? Or will it be me? Colonel Choi was just the beginning, the start of purging Kim Yo Jong's circle. One thing was certain: staying in this position meant I'd end up like Colonel Choi. About a month after Colonel Choi disappeared, the call came. State security summons. No reason given. In that moment, my body went rigid. Colonel Choi started this way too. I told my wife I might be late. She heard it in my voice. My 17-year-old daughter and 15-year-old son flashed through my mind. My daughter attended art school. My son was in middle school. At state security headquarters, I surrendered my pistol. Strange feeling a security officer disarmed. Stripped of weapons, they dragged me to an interrogation room. The interrogator was a state security colonel. The room was cold and narrow. No windows, one dim fluorescent light. He dropped a stack of documents in front of me and began questioning. What had Kim Yo Jong said recently? What did she say about Ri Sol-ju? Had she expressed dissatisfaction about Kim Ju-a? I answered every question with, I don't know, or I don't remember. His eyes turned cold. Questions about Colonel Choi came. What did he say about Kim Yo Jong? Didn't I hear those words? I knew Colonel Choi did nothing wrong, but I couldn't say it. Defending him meant facing the same charges. The interrogator slid a business card across the desk. Direct state security number. Monitor Kim Yo Jong's behavior and report. That was the message. I took the card. Couldn't refuse. 3 hours of repeated questions. The interrogator tested my loyalty. I answered to survive. Finally released, but the parting words froze me solid. A warning they could summon me any time. I left state security and got in the car. My hands trembled. I was security chief. 26 years with the Guard Command. A loyal soldier. But now I was surveillance target. No longer protecting Kim Yo Jong, watching her. That evening, while on duty, Kim Yo Jong called me over. Asked where I'd been today. Her question startled me. She already knew. When I said state security, Kim Yo Jong nodded. She placed her hand on my shoulder, spoke quietly. Myung Chol, I'm sorry. Sorry, you got dragged into this. Think of your family. I'm already finished. Those words hit hard. Kim Yo Jong knew her fate. She understood better than anyone how it ends for those pushed from power. She was Kim Jong-un's sister, but that wasn't enough. In North Korea, power matters more than bloodline. In the car going home, I thought staying in this position means I'm finished too. I'll face incitement charges like Colonel Choi, or collapse alongside Kim Yo Jong. The state security card felt heavy in my pocket. I had to survive. For my daughter, son, and wife. That night, for the first time, I considered escape. Leaving North Korea, abandoning 26 years of military service, attempting dangerous escape with my whole family. Unimaginable, but now I had to imagine it. No other choice existed. After the state security interrogation, sleep became impossible. Never knowing when I'd be summoned again, who would disappear next. The security team atmosphere froze. Colleagues suspected each other. I made my decision, get my family out. The opportunity came during Kim Yo Jong's inspection visit to Chongjin, North Hamgyong Province. Near the border, I remembered an old colleague from Guard Command days, who'd retired and reportedly worked in trade in Chongjin. 2 days before the Chongjin visit, I called from a payphone, cautiously. He recognized my voice, hesitated when I suggested meeting, but eventually agreed. We met at a restaurant near the market. He saw my face and understood immediately. I didn't speak indirectly. Said I needed a way to get 4 family members into China. After studying me, he nodded. But it would cost a lot of money. 4 people meant higher risk and double the expense. I had 6 years of savings. Dollars and yuan accumulated from security chief's salary and special rations. I'd give it all. He promised to contact me in a week. Back in Pyongyang, the hardest task awaited. Telling my family. One night, I gathered my wife, daughter, and son. I told them everything. Colonel Choi's death. The state security interrogation. Kim Yo Jong's words. My plan. My 17-year-old daughter cried. Leaving art school, friends hurt. My 15-year-old son looked terrified. But my wife spoke. If we stay, we all end. The kids nodded. A week later, contact from my Chongjin colleague. Ready the signal. Early February, just before the Tuman River ice melted. Best timing. I prepared the money. 6 years of salary. Every bit. Kim Yo Jong's security duties continued. I protected her as usual. But now I knew it was ending. One day Kim Yo Jong called me. Thanked me for our long work together. Her words hurt. Early February, I requested final leave. Used my mother's memorial service as an excuse. Approval came through. 3 days. My daughter told school she was visiting relatives. My son used the same excuse. The night before departure, we gathered at home. Minimal belongings. Money distributed and hidden across all our bodies. Disposed of all phones. Minimal identification. My daughter looked around her room one last time. My son opened and closed his desk drawer. We knew we'd never return to this house. Pyongyang, 26 years of military service. My daughter's school. My son's friends. Saying goodbye to everything. We headed to the train station. 4 family members boarding the train to Chongjin. Pyongyang receded through the window. My wife squeezed my hand. My daughter and son held each other tight. We were heading toward the Tuman River. To survive. To survive together. We reached Chongjin in early February, just before the Tuman River ice melted most dangerous but safest timing. The broker took our family of 4 to a small inn. We waited one day. The night before departure, I gathered my family, distributed money across 4 bodies, told my daughter and son, "Whatever happens, don't make a sound. Don't let go of Dad's hand." The kids nodded, faces full of fear. Past midnight, the broker appeared, drove us toward the border region. After an hour, the car stopped. From here, we walk. I held my daughter's hand. My wife held our son's. We walked into darkness. The river came into view. The Tuman River, water roaring. The broker signaled. Patrol just passed. About 10 minutes, that's all we had. I gripped my daughter's hand and descended to the river. My wife led our son. Water soaked our ankles, ice cold. My daughter moaned softly but held it in. With each step forward, the water deepened. Suddenly lights appeared. Patrol. The broker yanked us down, crouching in the water. My daughter and son trembling. I covered my daughter's mouth. My wife held our son tight. The lights drew closer. 2 patrol guards walking along the bank. My son tried to cough. My wife quickly covered his mouth. The patrol stopped. I held my breath. 1 minute felt like 30. The patrol started walking again. The lights moved away. The broker signaled. We moved again. At the river's center, water reached our chests. My daughter stumbled, but I didn't let go. My son clung to my wife. Chinese territory drew near. Across the river, a flashlight blinked 3 times. The agreed signal. I used my last strength to pull my daughter. My wife pushed our son up. The Chinese broker pulled the kids up. My wife and I crawled up. Chinese soil. I looked back. North Korean territory sat in darkness. 26 years of military service. Our Pyongyang home. Everything on that side. My daughter was crying. My son shook all over. The broker urged us on. Chinese public security patrols, too. We entered the forest. Wet clothes began freezing. My daughter said, "Dad, I'm cold." But we couldn't stop. After an hour's walk, a small house appeared. An ethnic Korean village. The broker knocked. Inside, lights came on. A woman in her 50s answered. Quickly told us to come in. Warm ondel heat radiated. The woman handed us dry clothes. My daughter and son changed. Only then did I realize our whole family survived. My wife sat in a corner crying. My daughter and son cried too. I held my family. We survived. Together. But now we were defectors. Returning to North Korea meant the political prison camp. I looked out the window. North Korea wasn't visible. Pyongyang. Kim Yo Jong. The security team. Everything ended. Now a new life begins. With my family. We hid in the ethnic Korean house for 3 days. Couldn't go outside. Chinese public security deports defectors back to North Korea. My daughter and son couldn't even look at windows. The broker explained the next plan. China to Laos to Thailand. At the Korean embassy there, we'd get protection. The journey would take at least a month. 4 family members meant more danger. On the 4th night, we climbed into a truck bed. 2 other defectors there. My daughter and son pressed against me, terrified. The truck drove for 2 days. Inside was cold and cramped. My son needed the bathroom but had to hold it. When we reached southern China, brokers changed. The new one spoke some English, promised to take us to the Laos border. We walked mountain paths, only at night, hiding in forests during the day. My daughter got blisters but didn't cry. Crossing into Laos was most dangerous. Border guards stationed there. The broker paid money to clear the way. We crossed barbed wire in darkness. My daughter's clothes tore. My son's hand bled. But we couldn't stop. In Laos, we hid for a week. An old warehouse. Rats running around. My son had nightmares every night. The broker brought bus tickets to Thailand. Forged documents, too. The bus drove for 2 days. At every border checkpoint, my heart pounded. I told my daughter and son, never speak Korean. Don't make eye contact. The kids kept their heads down. We passed safely. We arrived in Bangkok, Thailand. The broker handed us over to a Korean missionary. The missionary welcomed us warmly. Hearing Korean, my daughter burst into tears. My son finally relaxed. The missionary contacted the Korean embassy. Days later, an embassy official came, verified our identities. When I said I was Kim Yo Jong's security chief, his expression changed. A whole family defection also shocked him. A week later, the embassy called. Plane tickets to Korea ready. We headed to Bangkok airport. My daughter and son stared wide-eyed at their first airport. Waiting at the airport, I looked out the window. Soon we'd step on Korean soil, ending 26 years of military service. Discarding my identity as Kim Yo Jong's security chief. Becoming a defector family. My daughter grabbed my arm. Dad, can I go to school in Korea? My son asked too. Can I make friends? I held my kids. Yes, you can do everything. Now you're free. The plane took off. I looked out the window. Rising above the clouds, I thought a new life begins now. Those 6 years in North Korea, the time protecting Kim Yo Jong that will stay with me forever. But now we can live freely with my family. To bear witness to those memories, we had to survive. When we arrived at Incheon Airport, my knees nearly buckled. Korean soil, National Intelligence Service staff met us. My daughter and son looked tense, but the staff were kind. We headed to Hanawon, the resettlement facility for defectors. Family defections were rare, especially when word spread about Kim Yo Jong's former security chief. Investigations began. An IS investigator called me in. Days of questioning. I told them everything. The power struggle between Kim Yo Jong and Ri Sol-ju. Kim Ju-ae's personality cult construction. The purge process. The investigator recorded it all carefully. Is it true that 5 of 8 stamps featured Kim Ju-ae? I nodded. Yes, I saw them directly. Kim Yo Jong wasn't on a single one. The investigator looked shocked. Was the cheek-touching scene also staged? Ri Sol-ju and the propaganda department coached Kim Ju-ae. Everything calculated. I testified in detail about Kim Yo Jong's gradual loss of power, seating changes, getting cut from camera frames, statement quality decline, associate purges, the inner workings of North Korea's power core. After questioning ended, we received training at Hanawon. My daughter and son attended classes with other defector youth. Adaptation was hard at first. South Korean speech patterns differed. Culture differed. But the kids learned fast. 3 months later, we left Hanawon. Government support helped us get a house on Seoul's outskirts. Small, but our family's home. My daughter transferred to high school. My son started middle school. The beginning was tough. My daughter got teased at school for being from North Korea. My son struggled to keep up in class. But we didn't give up. Teachers helped. Friends formed. A year passed. My daughter joined the school dance club, put her art school skills to use. My son started playing soccer. Unimaginable in North Korea. I began working with a defector support organization, shared my experiences with other defectors. Being Kim Yo Jong's former security chief was sometimes a burden, but helpful for testifying about North Korean power realities. One day, my daughter spoke. Dad, I want to go to university. Major in dance. My son said, I want to be a soccer player. I held my kids. A future unimaginable in North Korea. Every night I wonder, what happened to Kim Yo Jong? Did Ri Sol-ju and Kim Ju-ae consolidate power? How many more people disappeared like Colonel Choi? But I'm here, with my family, free. Thank you for listening to this story. The reality of North Korean power, the invisible war between Kim Yo Jong and Ri Sol-ju, one family's story of defecting to survive. I hope you remember this truth. Subscriptions and likes help stories like this reach more people. Thank you.